What's up, everyone? Lusky the Realtor here for a monthly market update to talk to you about what's going on in Ventura's housing market as it relates to the month of August 2024. As a professional realtor, I realized there wasn't someone putting together educational content about what is going on in our local market. Today, we're going to jump into the local numbers for the Ventura market. We're also going to talk a little bit about the velocity of the market, as well as some of the recent headlines and new changes that have gone into effect in the month of August. If you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing in Ventura real estate, stay tuned because we're going to dive right into the data and tell you what's going on. Let's jump on over here to take a look at the new listings data for Ventura. What we've got here is we've segmented it by single family, condos, townhouses. But with all that said, we had 56 new listings hit the market in the month of August. If we were to break this out, it looks a little something like this with 35 single family homes, 19 condos, and 2 townhouses. Now, let's take a look at how many active listings that we have. So in August, we are slightly down compared to July, with July being 187 active listings, 172 in the month of August. Now we saw a breakdown of 126 single-family homes active, 39 condos, and 7 townhouses. What does that mean? Like, how quick are things moving? If we look at the pending sales, we'll notice that the pending sales are down compared to the prior month, specifically for single-family homes, condos, and townhouses. In the month of July, we had 71 pending sales compared to 49 in the month of August. We noticed we were down compared to July in terms of closed sales. 75 sales closed in July with 59 closed in the month of August. When we dive into this data, a couple questions come up. Some buyers and sellers will ask, how long does it take to buy or sell? What can I expect in terms of timelines? That's why I like to talk about the average and median days on market. I'm not a mathematician, but I like to look at both because it gives you an idea as to what you could expect. In the month of August, we had an average of 38 days on the market for all these property subtypes. But if we break it down, we noticed that it slightly increased for condos, townhomes, and single-family homes, with single-family homes sitting around 36 days on the market, 101 for townhouses, and 30 for condos. Now, if we look over at the median, you'll notice it's pretty similar, but at the same time, all of which are up. This could be for a variety of reasons, but in the last couple weeks, we started to see interest rates drop. We started to see more buyers come into the market because their purchasing power had increased. As interest rates go down, more people step into the market. With the recent Fed meeting talking about how they're looking to cut rates here in September, we're looking at interest rates that are trending in the right direction to bring more buyers back into the market. Let's jump over to Mortgage News Daily to walk you through what we're seeing as far as 30-year fixed mortgages. So for this example, we put in a $750,000 loan amount, and right now you're looking around 6.43%. Now, if you're on an FHA loan, you're sitting below 6%, which is a good sign. If you had bought a house within the last year, it might be a good opportunity for you to refinance and save money on your monthly mortgage. Also, if you are waiting to purchase your next home, the decrease could help you save money on your replacement property. Now, this is very situational, so when it does come time to get a quote, make sure you talk to a couple professionals. Make sure that they're sharing their fees, their rates, all on the same day. That way you can compare apples to apples. It is going to be based on personal information such as your credit score, your debt to income ratios, and the type of loan product that you're looking to use. So have those conversations early, but know that as interest rates are dropping, your purchasing power is going up. This brings me to my next section where a lot of my clients have been asking me about the new changes as it relates to the buying and selling process. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, check out the description because I got a lot of resources and links for you that relate to the National Association of Realtors settlement and the changes that went into effect on August 17th. In short, sellers are no longer allowed to advertise a buyer's agent's commission on the MLS, and buyers now have to have a signed agreement in place with an agent to take a look at properties. When you're looking at buying a house, you will have to hire or sign an agreement with an agent to help you look at that property. In these agreements, it outlines their compensation structure. Essentially, what are they charging you? That's why it's super important for you as a buyer to understand what these agreements are, what they mean to you, and know a few things. First, the buyer agreement can only be 3 months long, meaning you're not tied, you're not married to that agent forever. It's a 3-month duration. It outlines the parameters of where you're looking to buy and the compensation structure they are asking for. Essentially, this means as you go through the buying process, that agent is going to be representing you. When you go to write an offer, you can ask for the seller to pay for their fees through the offer itself, which, if you're familiar with how the offer works, just became another negotiating point within your offer. In the event that a seller doesn't want to pay for a buyer's agent's representation costs, the buyer may be on the hook to cover the costs that they agreed to on that initial agreement that they signed, which is a huge thing to understand as a prospective buyer. You may have to come out of pocket to pay for your own representation. There's also the opportunity for buyers to go in unrepresented. And that is something that I think is not in the best interest of a home buyer, especially if you're a first-time home buyer. There are so many moving parts. You really want to ensure that you have your own representation to protect your best interests, protect your financial positions, and ultimately give you an opportunity to get out of a deal if it doesn't work for you. That's why it's super important that you're talking to the agent up front about not only their fees, but what services are they providing. Let's move over to the seller side of things. The seller can't advertise a cooperating broker's compensation on the MLS. However, when they review offers, if the buyer's offer includes a request for compensation to be paid to their agent, it is now a negotiating point for the seller, meaning the seller has some leverage. Not only are we talking about price and terms and timelines, we're also talking about the compensation structure. In my opinion, this is great because my sellers now are looking at an opportunity where they can net more money. That's my theory about these changes, but I'm curious to hear what you think. Let me know in the comment section below. These changes are causing a lot of confusion, especially within the first-time buyer market, which I think working with a lot of first-time buyers, even move-up buyers, asking them to cover thousands of dollars of costs can be a make or break situation. As a buyer, you can always go in unrepresented. But I think if buyers are going to take that route, they need to be very well versed in the buying process, the escrow process, disclosures, home inspections, and the secondary negotiations that happen with an escrow. I'm curious to hear what you've heard about all this. In the description, I'm going to include a bunch of resources, but I wanted to show you where you can find this information. If you go to the National Association of Realtors website, nar.realtor/the facts, you can actually get a full breakdown as to what this NAR settlement is all about, who was affected, how it all works out, and really you might want to focus on the practice changes or the impact section. In my opinion, I think this is going to cause a lot of lawsuits in practice. Working and representing buyers, it's now a conversation that's being had with the listing agent up front. Is your seller open to offering a cooperating broker's compensation? Every single person that I've asked about this has said yes. And it's crazy because, in my opinion, I wouldn't say yes. I would say, just like everything, it's negotiable. Put the offer together and we'll review it. So for my sellers, I think it's going to be an awesome opportunity for them to net more money. For my buyers, I'm going to fight to make sure that they get their fees covered by the seller. I'm not going to hold my clients to paying me if the seller isn't going to cover those costs. I might have to work for free, but I'm here for the relationships and I'm here to help people make smart decisions. If you have questions about these changes, where we're headed in the market, or want to know how to set yourself up for success, whether that's buying, selling, or investing, feel free to reach out. I'm going to include also a couple things where you can schedule time on my calendar, also some other free resources. But if you haven't already done so, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. And if you haven't followed me already, feel free to follow me on Instagram. As always, you can call or text me at 805-856-8773 and check out some of my other content. Until next time, take care.